Okay, so the next thing we're going to be talking about here in Algebra 2 regarding functions is basic translations or transformations. Essentially, we're going to take a function on a graph and we're going to move it. We're going to move it left, right, up, down. We're going to flip it. We're going to do all sorts of things with it. For now, we're just going to go over the basics. So here on the top middle of this slide, you see a basic function. And this function has an actual equation for it, but we're not too concerned with the equation right now. We're just going to call it f of x. Okay? That's our basic function. It looks like that. And you'll see with the next 3 slides, I have copied and pasted that function into those 3 slides. And what we're going to do is we're going to show how that function changes, how it slides or flips or does whatever, depending on what sort of things are added to the function itself, the equation of the function. So we're possibly going to add to it, subtract from it, do stuff in front of it. We're going to do all sorts of things, and we're just going to look at how it changes. So the first thing we're going to talk about is if a number is added or subtracted to the end of it. Okay? If a number is added or subtracted to the end of it, subtracting a number is going to slide the function down however many units. If a number is added to the end of the function, that is going to slide the function up however many units. Okay? So now, as I look at this, and I have this particular function, f of x minus 6, what I'm going to do is I'm going to essentially clone, let me just clone the function. Oops, I don't want to move that. I'm out. Alright, let me clone this function as I see it. So there I've cloned it. And now this new function, I want to move down 6 units. So here's where I started. Because of the minus 6, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this function, let's make these lines blue so that we can distinguish between the original and the one that has been translated down. So this would be considered a translation. Okay? A translation is a shift up or down, left or right. Translation, let me go smaller with this. Another way to look at a translation is a slide. You slide up, down, left, right. Okay? A transformation, on the other hand, is going to be an actual change of the shape. So that's what's going to happen if you have a number added or subtracted to the end of your function. Note that, because this is one thing that does confuse people sometimes, note that here the things are happening outside of the parentheses. The second thing we're going to look at is if there's an adding or a subtracting on the inside of the parentheses, and it actually does something different. This actually turns out to be the opposite of what you might expect. You might expect a minus to shift a function to the left, because that's the direction negatives go. But actually a minus shifts the function to the right, and a plus on the inside shifts the function to the left. So that's kind of the opposite of what you might expect. So in this particular situation, we have f of x plus 5, and the plus 5 is on the inside of the parentheses. So once again, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to clone, where's my, oh, there it is. I'm going to clone what I have here. And we're going to take this thing, and because it is a plus 5, that actually shifts it to the left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll go ahead and make that purple so we can see that as our new function. So that actually, the plus 5 shifts it to the left. That's a little opposite of what you might expect. Okay, and then the last one for now, before we get into some crazy transformations, is if we have a function and we simply have a negative in front or a negative on the inside, that is going to cause a flip, so to speak, of the function over the x-axis or the y-axis. Okay, it's going to be mirrored over that axis. So which is which? So the f of negative x, this is going to be when we flip over the y-axis. And if that negative's out in front, then we flip over the x-axis. Okay, so here we go. In this case, the one that we're looking at is the negative f of x, or the negative is in front of the f of x, so we want to flip this thing over the x-axis. Well, here's our x-axis. Hopefully I'll be able to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and clone this. And now I got to take this guy and I'm going to rotate it, if it'll let me. So I flipped it down. Whoops. I don't think I want to clone it again, but it'll do the job, I suppose. No, it's, well, you get the idea. So we've taken this thing and we've flipped it down. The thing about this is that if we were to get the first one, which was f of negative x, if we flipped it over the y-axis, we would end up with the exact same graph. Okay? But in any case, these are 3 possible things that we're going to do to functions, and we'll tackle the last one in our next video.